بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to the Hadith class. Today inshallah we will take Jami' at-Tirmidhi. After we finished Sunan Abi Dawud rahimahullah, we come to Jami' or Sunan at-Tirmidhi. And again, according to the method that you're following, some scholars may mention Jami' at-Tirmidhi before Sunan Abi Dawud. When they list the 6 books, they may mention Jami' at-Tirmidhi. Why they may mention Jami' at-Tirmidhi? When they look to the variety of the chapters and the books that are mentioned. When they look to the diversity of the subjects that are discussed. Others would mention Sunan Abi Dawud because they consider it more authentic than Jami' at-Tirmidhi. So today inshallah we will discuss the introduction of Jami' at-Tirmidhi. It belongs to the Imam, what's his name, and what are the features and the qualities of this book. The name of Imam at-Tirmidhi rahimahullah is Muhammad ibn Isa ibn Surah at-Tirmidhi. Abu Isa. Muhammad ibn Isa ibn Surah at-Tirmidhi. He was born in the year 209 and he died in the year 279 in Tirmidh. He was born in Tirmidh and he died in Tirmidh. That's why he's called at-Tirmidhi. Where is the Tirmidh? Is it in Arabia? Is it in the subcontinent? Where it is? It is currently, in our time, in Uzbekistan. That's where Tirmidh is nowadays. So you notice he lived 70 years. He was a very righteous man. And out of his righteousness he used to cry out of fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so much so that he lost his eyesight before his death. He became blind at the end of his life. He traveled and he studied and he became a special student for Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah. He took actually from the other Imams. At-Tirmidhi rahimahullah, he took from al-Bukhari, from Muslim, but he was a special student of Imam al-Bukhari. The resources do not mention so much about the details of his life like other Imams. Maybe because he was busy with traveling. Maybe he chose to work separately, silently. But definitely he was a great scholar. How do we know this? From his book, which is called Al-Jami'. How many ahadith did he collect in this book? He collected 3,956. Or you could say approximately 4,000 ahadith. He collected 4,000 ahadith in his book. The scholars who talked about Jami' at-Tirmidhi, some of them actually preferred it over any other book, including Sahih al-Bukhari. Some scholars said, in order for you to understand Sahih al-Bukhari, you need to have a deep knowledge. While Jami' at-Tirmidhi, it is very easy. So the benefit coming out of Jami' at-Tirmidhi is more than the benefit that is coming out of Sahih al-Bukhari. Why? Because we have more people are benefiting Unlike Sahih Bukhari, not everyone can benefit from it. Jami' Tirmidhi was made easy. Other scholars said, whoever had Jami' Tirmidhi in his house, it is as if he has a prophet speaking to him. Now, to be more specific, some scholars mentioned 3 important advantages of Jami' Tirmidhi. And they said that these do not exist in any other book. And that's what elevated the rank of Jami' Tirmidhi. The first advantage, the brief chains of narrators. Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah, he did not mention, like other scholars, many chains. He just listed few of them. He made it brief. Now sometimes it is important to mention the chain of narrators. But if you mention too much, you'll be confused. So Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah, he mentioned the chain of narrator briefly, and that's it. If there is another chain, it is mentioned briefly. So you are not confused. And there is a reason for that. It is related to the third feature. So you'll know it when we mention the third feature. The second advantage, he mentions the disagreements of the scholars in regards to fiqh issues. Abu Dawud rahimahullah, he also did a similar thing. In his book, Abu Dawud says that this is what so-and-so says. This is what so-and-so says. This is mentioned here with extra. Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah attempts to weigh the evidences, the opinions. So you are not only getting a book of hadith, you are getting also a book of fiqh. What do you want more? So you have the hadith and you have the disagreement of the scholars also. You have their opinions. After he mentions the hadith, he says, and according to this hadith, the Imam so-and-so, he gave this opinion. So you have the hadith and you have the fiqh opinion. The third feature, he judges and he gives you the verdict of the hadith. وهو حديث حسن وهو حديث غريب وهو حديث حسن صحيح. He mentions the defect and he mentions the verdict of the hadith. And that's why, again, the chains of narrators are not mentioned with details. He gave you the outcome. Now, one unique thing about Jami' Tirmidhi, that he used the term Hasanun Sahih. That's what he used in his book. Scholars said, if you wanted to find Hadith Hasan, where do you go? To Jami' Tirmidhi. Most of these Hadith are Hasan. It is a level between weak and authentic. But it is still accepted. Yet it is not that strong as Sahih. That does not mean all the Ahadith in Sunan al-Tirmidhi are authentic. However, many of them are authentic. So these features that are mentioned in Jami' al-Tirmidhi, they are not in other books. Now, when we say Jami', what's the difference between Jami' and other books? What's the difference between Jami' and Sunan? Collection of what? All the 6 books. So Jami' Tirmidhi has a collection of all the 6 books. Yes. Fiqh issues.
You won't find like a book related to aqeedah or something.
Okay, that's the meaning of sunan. In general, sunan arranged in the order of the fiqh chapters. Jami', a collection of all chapters of religion. So it has more extra books. Sahih al-Bukhari, is it Jami' or Sunan? Jami'. It starts with which book? Beginning of Revelation. Sahih Muslim, is it a Jami' or Sunan? Jami'. It starts with what? You forgot? Jami' al-Tirmidhi, although it starts with the book of purification, which is the order of fiqh, yet it is Jami'. Why? Because he mentioned all other chapters that are related to the religion in general at the end. At the end. Now the end of the books of fiqh is hudud, jinayat, punishments, while the last book in Jami' al-Tirmidhi is Kitab al-Da'awat, the ad'iyah, the du'as. Kitab al-Da'awat. Before it, there is Fada'il al-Quran, Zuhd, Tafsir. So there are many chapters related to the religion in general. And that's why it was called Jami'. Because this book is so important, we have commentaries. And scholars explained Jami' al-Tirmidhi. And imagine, now you have the book with the hadith, you have the verdict, you have the opinions, and you have over it what? Explanation. What do you want more? So this book is really valuable. Of the commentaries, Tuhfat al-Ahwadhi, Muhammad ibn Abdul Rahim al-Mubarakfuri, rahimahullah. He died in the year 1355 of Hijrah. Tuhfat al-Ahwadhi. Tuhfa is a masterpiece. Tuhfat al-Ahwadhi bisharh Jami' al-Tirmidhi. They always choose topics that rhyme. Tuhfat al-Ahwadhi bisharh Jami' al-Tirmidhi. And I have this book in my library. The other book, Aridat al-Ahwadhi. Arida means like pillar. Aridat al-Ahwadhi bisharh Jami' al-Tirmidhi. This is for Imam Abu Bakr ibn al-Arabi al-Maliki. And it is also very precious book. Imam al-Tirmidhi rahimahullah, he wrote other books, not only Jami' al-Tirmidhi. There are other books that are written. Of them, Al-Shama'il al-Muhammadiyya, the prophetic qualities. And of them, Al-Ilal. And of them, At-Tafsir. He has a book of Tafsir, but it's not available. It is lost. So he has many books. Those are the most famous ones. Now when we come to translated books, in English, Al-Shama'il is available. Al-Shama'il Muhammadiyya is available, and it is translated to English. However, Jami' al-Tirmidhi itself, I did not find it. I was planning to explain more and to start, but I did not find an English copy. Do we have? You will get it. Is it available?
In common print, no.
That's a problem.
Special print, yes.
That's a problem. Imagine if we don't have the original books of Sunnah. How could you study Islam and you don't have this book, Jami' al-Tirmidhi? It's unbelievable. I mean, look at how many books in English we have about Islam, and what is Jami' al-Tirmidhi? I mean, what is the structured priorities that this is important? We have Sahih al-Bukhari, we have Sahih Muslim. Okay, never mind the chains of narrators. At least we have the hadith. Sunan Abi Dawud is there. Here is Sunan Abi Dawud. But what about at-Tirmidhi? Do we have a Nasa'i in English? I think we will face also this problem. And the same thing with Sunan ibn Majah. Sunan ibn Majah is available. Why? I mean, those are more important. And that will actually cause us some confusion. That's why maybe we will go quickly over Jami' al-Tirmidhi, because if it's not available in English, what's the use? We cannot discuss it. You need the hadith in English. The only benefit you could get if the hadith itself is narrated in other books. And many hadith in Sunan al-Tirmidhi that are narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sunan Abi Dawud. Inshallah. Yeah, they are translated, but this is very late step. This had to be done very early, before other books are translated. This is the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we will stop here, inshallah. That concludes our session. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.